Hello everyone. I'm Nikhil again back with some interesting things in the cybersecurity world. Okay, if you are staying updated or if you are enthusiast for the cybersecurity, so maybe you have idea that Kali Linux is the very crucial OS, and in that we are doing lots of practice for ethical hacking cybersecurity. So just for your information, the new version of Kali Linux is already launched before few days only. So I'm creating the video on that, the Kali Linux 2024, how to install. Okay, and it's not like just a practical step like install next finish kind of thing. Okay, here we'll discuss a proper guide for installation even if you are new to the Kali from the scratch. And it's not like just we go with theory, but here I will explain the whole comparison also, that how it is different from other Kali 23, or let's say which features you need to choose. Okay, when you use default. So we'll discuss all the things. Okay, so first of all, if we want to install the Kali, okay, so you can see here I have some requirements, because lots of students again have a mindset that there is a hacking OS or cybersecurity OS requires some high graphics, and that's why I created these special slides. Okay, on the low end, if you just want to start your cybersecurity career, or let's say you just want to practice from your laptop, then we have some kind of environment with the low-end system where you can able to run your Kali with just 28 MB RAM minimum requirement. I hope this is very low, so maybe it will run little bit slow, but you can see recommendation is what? 512 MB. Okay, so this kind of laptop or computer anyone have nowadays. Even if you talk about mobile, then we have more RAM. Okay, but it is what, keep in mind, it is just the SSH version, or you can say command line version. If you have little bit idea, like we can use the Windows mostly graphically, and if you think about Linux, then there are also not there nowadays we have graphics, but only command also we can use entire Linux. So that kind of version you will find here. Obviously, we can't expect more graphics in 512 MB RAM in nowadays HD life. Okay, and you can see the disk space only 2 GB. So this is just a low end concept. Okay, I just want to explain this because there are lots of students are suffering that, sir, I don't have a system, I don't have high end configuration laptop, can I start cyber journey? Yes, you can. Okay, and on the other higher end, if we discuss that if you want to use the installation with some default graphics desktop environment, and let's say you want to use Kali default meta packages, then you can use at least 2 GB of RAM and 20 GB of hard disk. See the gap, guys. Here minimum 128 and recommended 512, while here it's directly minimum 2 GB and 20 GB of disk space. Obviously, graphics will store more space. Okay, but again, it is just the normal higher end compared to this version. But let's say if you are actually pro, okay, already have a cybersecurity or ethical hacking knowledge, and you want to use Kali with faster concept, then you can see when you're using the resources and intensive applications such as a Bursuit, just example. Otherwise, there is a Wireshark, there is a SQL map, lots of kind of graphical tools or CLI tools who can open later in graphics, or who can work in background with the graphic like password cracking or other stuff. Then you require some high RAM. Okay, so for that I recommended at least 8 GB RAM. Even if you have more large, you can go with that, depend on the web application or other system what you want to use, as I give some example, or you can use a simultaneous program at the same time. So this is three different concept I just explained you guys. Okay, so I hope it is clear for you, and now you are free to choose your kind of version to install the Kali. Okay, then you can see right now, obviously, I'm creating video, so we need to discuss in the VM. Otherwise, I also later guide the step if you want to install in the physical machine. But first, let's discuss how you can install Kali Linux in the virtual machine. Okay, so first simple step is what you need to download the Kali Linux. And for that, if I take you to my browser, then here just simply you need to type kali.org, and it will take you to the official website. And nowadays it's become very simple. You can see directly here we have download button. If I click here, then you will see two kind of main option. No doubt we have more lots of nowadays as a AI trending, some customization is there, Docker, we have cloud, we have container, Kubernetes, lots of things. But right now again, mainly it is depend on two things. Either it is an installer image where we will get .iso file, or you can say image file which we can install manually, or you can go with the virtual machine environment where it is a pre-built images. Means we no need to follow the installation process. It's directly ready-made. Now, what is better and why? Let's discuss in brief. Okay. So this is give you the pure hands-on experience to how to install Kali. And here you have the option to choose what kind of Kali packages you want, what kind of version you want, you require all tools or not, that kind of option we have, and according that we can install. So it is just the installer image. We need to follow the installation process, and during the installation process we can customize our setting. While this is what pre-built ready-made installed Kali, it is like give you the some virtual hard disks. Later we just need to attach in the VM and we can directly open it. Is, you can say, ready to go image, or you can say ready to go virtual machine. Okay. So obviously, if we are actually a cybersecurity person, then we all time focus on the customization, that what I want. We don't need to focus on all tools, each and everything, because again, if we are not using all tools, then no meaning to use extra graphics in that. So I will suggest this, and where we can see the installation steps. If I click here, it will take me to the installer image. Here you can see Kali Linux 2024.1, 64-bit version. Obviously 32 also there, but nowadays no meaning. Mostly we'll find 64 version. In that also you can see there is a 4 option. Now what is this? It is the installer. Again, just we discuss main installer image where we find around 3 to 4 GB. Image size, later we install and it will extract the size during the installation. But suppose you have some more curiosity. You are already pro and experience in the Kali, and you want each and every daily update, or you can say weekly update, even it is tested or not. If Kali person, or let's say Kali company organization are doing some experiment, that beta version update also you want in your Kali, then you can use this. But what you find, you can see untested images with the latest update that I just told you. Then we have net installer. You can also say like network installer. This mostly we can say like mostly preferred by students. Okay. Where let's say they have less internet speed, or let's say they have limited data in the daily basis, then you can just download basic image with 492 MB, and later day by day, step by step, that Kali will updating the tools and everything. Okay. I'm not saying as a beginner, the student would. Okay. Student mostly what they have limited internet data or PG kind of guy, whatever. So I'm talking. Otherwise, this also directly student can use. It is a fresh image only. And here everything. You can see around 11 GB. The highest image size mostly every time for everything. It is also known as a Kali everything, where you will find all tools pre-built. Let's say if you have a little idea, then when we install the Kali Linux, so there are some pre-built installation tools is there, but not all. If some more tools we require, we need to just download with the apt-get. Okay. While here, whatever the tools supported with the Kali, all are inbuilt. That's why the size is bigger. So again, as a common use, I will go with this where we find the most common images, and I will do the installation save. So if I click here, it will directly start the download. Okay, you can see here. Okay, but you can see here the bracket one. That means what? I already downloaded this to save our time. So I'm just canceling here. And if I show my download folder, so you can see here, I already have Kali downloaded. Okay, that's same 2024.1. Now, what the second things we require? Configuration of VM should be machine with system requirement. So whatever the virtual machine we are going to create, that obviously the requirement need to fulfill which requirement, which we just discussed here. Okay. And I will use this requirement, but not compulsory. Why I will use this? Just for video. So we can do fast forward tasks. You no need to wait for the installation time like around 30-40 minutes. So I will use the higher resources. Otherwise, again, I'm telling 2 GB, 4 GB also enough. Only for expert and experienced people, they want to use more Kali, more tools in the daily life, then they require 8 GB. Okay. So for the creating virtual machine, you can see we require some virtualization software, like you can say VirtualBox here I already mentioned, or you can go with VMware or other VM platform, whatever you like. But being a cyber guy, I will suggest use a VirtualBox. So let's go to again browser, and if I open the new tab, if I search just about VirtualBox, it's a ORG organization. Okay, so you can see here Oracle VM VirtualBox. Okay, and I can go here in the home page, or I can click the download button also. From here, it directly allow me to click download button, and there is a latest version 7.0.14, and you can see for Windows. Right now, my host is Windows. So I will use this. Again, if I click here, it will start download. Again, you can see that bracket one. It's around 100 MB only. Even I not cancel, it will, you can see download with the high speed internet. Done. And here in the download folder, now you find two. Okay. That's same 7.0.14. So requirement till now, what we have that done. Now let's create a VirtualBox VM. Okay. So first I will show you installation of VirtualBox. It will ask the permission, yes or no. You will find this kind of dialog box. Okay, next. Here no, we don't have any extra setup. So just next, we'll mostly focus on the Kali installations and just proceed with installation now. Yes. Yes. Install. It will take few seconds only, not much, but it will help you to start from the scratch how to install and everything. So you can see here, just finish that, and later what? Later again, you will find VirtualBox open automatically after a few seconds. Okay. So once we create the virtual machine, then what we need to do, whatever the file we downloaded, that ISO file we need to attach with machine, and then we can start the Kali installation process. So if I again take you back there, you will find that VirtualBox virtual machine already open. Now here, we can create the new machine with this button. In that new, what we need to do, give the name. So let's say I'm giving Kali -2024, or you can say 2024.1. Okay, by default, VirtualBox download in this folder. Their all virtual machine setup will keep here in the username. Okay, but I'm mostly preferring different because I have multiple hard disks. So I'm not giving overload to the main hard disk. I will store in the different. So let's say here I'm creating a new folder. That is, let's say what, VBox. For what? All VirtualBox virtual machine I will store in this folder. You can keep it default. Okay, that is your choice. But generally, I'm following this. Then ISO image. So where we have image, okay, that is in the download folder. It's here. Attach that and open. Okay, so now keep in mind, right now I just downloaded the latest VirtualBox. So in that we have the step here only that you can directly attach the image. If you have old VirtualBox and try to follow this video, then what? You have the separate option to create virtual machine, and later we need to attach this fourth number. ISO file we need to attach later. Okay, let's do the next. Asking for the RAM. As I told you, temporary right now I will give some high RAM. So let's say I'm giving here 16 GB. Okay, so this way you can go. This is a 16 GB RAM. But again, not compulsory, just for showing you fast installation. And then here, let's say CPU, I'm giving 6. Next. Hard disk size. Generally 60 GB is enough for any kind of environment. So I'm using that 60 GB disk size. Okay. What is this option? Pre-allocated full size. If you want that this machine working faster and they will use the virtual hard disk as a separate on hard disk, then you can use it. When you click this, on the spot from your current hard disk size 60 GB is divided, not divided as a separate drive, okay, but one separate file it will use for 60 GB for this machine. But if you have limited space and you want that, okay, maximum 60 GB, but whatever I will store in the computer in this Kali machine, according that it will start using space, then don't click this. And again, we not require this, just next. So it is the overview. Machine name, machine folder path, image path, okay. Guest OS and everything selected here, Ubuntu. If you don't want to do this, obviously Kali is also Debian category, so Ubuntu is no create issue. But still, if you want that, then what? In this, when we selected that Kali 2024.1. Here, if you notice expert mode. Previously, what I do just next. So that is a common step which normal user following. But I will suggest if you want your customization in the OS selection also, use expert mode. So that I will do this time. Okay. So again, first of all, let me give that installation folder path. And then ISO image. Okay. And expert mode. So if you notice here, now we have the option to select the OS type. Okay. So again, let's say Kali 2024.1. Again, assigning the path, ISO image. So Linux is okay, but instead of Ubuntu, we have multiple option. You can see lots of different option. If you have idea, you can select the Debian with the Debian 64 because the Kali is Debian version. In that, let's say if you also have more deeper idea like which Debian version I will select, that is also your choice. Otherwise, you can select simple other. Okay, other Linux 64, but generally I said completely other. Instead of that, at least select the Debian 64. If you don't have idea about version, you can select Debian 64. And you can see some logo is changed. Then next finish. So you can see here, machine created, okay, with the default configuration, 2 GB RAM. Previously, if you have given the 16 GB RAM, that all option now it is what? Like old version. As I told you that if you have old VirtualBox, on that time, it is giving the all option later, just virtual machine created. So let's go to the setting again. Okay, machine and everything, okay, but in the system, assign the 16 GB RAM. Okay, floppy nowadays, no one is using. This we can do as a first priority. Okay, hard disk is first priority once we install. And right now hard disk is empty, so automatically will use second, where I will attach the CD, ISO image, processor, will use 6. Then come to the display graphics. You can use more graphics. Okay. Storage already attached both. You can see Kali image also and hard disk also. So just okay. So we make the 6 processor, 16 GB RAM, graphic also increase. Okay. Minimum requirement. Again, I'm repeating guys that I already explained. And normal higher end requirement also I explained with the 2 GB or you can use 4 GB. This I am doing just for showing faster installation. So just start. Now our Kali installation will start. Machine is started and this is the console. Okay, so you can see graphical install, normal install. Keep in mind, generally we are habituated to click on install, but it will just install normal version. Right now, even it is showing graphically, later it will comes in the command mode. So always choose here graphical install. Okay, Then enter. So we'll come with very simple step like language selection. So English. Then location selection. It you can choose. You can see by default it's US. If you want to select India or whatever your location, you can. Then keyboard. Again, it is your choice. By default, you know that American English. Okay. So continue. Then it will ask for the host name. Once the process done, it will ask for the host name. So right now it is load the installer component. Now it is checking the network. Keep in mind if your computer already have a VirtualBox with the default configuration, then already network setting is there. You no need to do anything. But if we talk about physical machine, then we require some setting that I will explain in the next slide. Okay, right now you can see it asking for host name. So again, it is your choice, whatever you want to keep. Okay, I'm keeping by default Kali. Okay, or let's say Kali 24. It's a 24 version. Okay, 0.1. Okay, generally I will not suggest the space in the host name or username. Okay, that you need to keep in mind. So just let's say Kali 24.1. This is my host name. Continue. It will configure the network and asking the full name or username, you can say. By default, if you have idea, then mostly Linux have a root username, okay? But you can see since last few version, Kali is not allowing directly login in the root by default because of security concern. So you can see a user account will be created for you to use instead of the root account for non-administrative activity. So here right now, whatever you create, that is a non-administrative account. If I give the root, okay, no meaning. So let's say right now I'm just giving common username like test or example, or let's say I'm giving my name here. Let's say NG. Okay, you can go ahead. Then continue. Username for account as it is. Continue. Then password. Right now again I'm keeping simple. So let's say ng@123. ng@123. Continue. It will checking the clock, configuring the time and everything. Again, if your computer not connected with internet, then maybe it will not detect the time automatically. It will give some option. Okay, like time zone we need to select. If you have little bit idea like UTM, okay, GMT plus 530, or let's say we need to select the time zone. Okay, like Asia Pacific or US, like that it will ask. But right now, already you see that we download something, my computer have internet, so that automatically detected. Now it will asking for partition, that you are going to install the Linux, Kali Linux. Okay. So in the hard disk, which kind of partition you require? So again, as a beginner, I will suggest this simple guided version. In that also what entire disk as a one partition. Suppose again, if you have idea about Windows, then we have C drive, D drive, that kind of multiple drive. Indirectly, that is a partition. So here I don't want that. As a Linux, let's say I want to keep entire hard disk as a one partition because we only give the 60 GB. Again, if you are going to install in physical machine, you can go with that extra partition, but again, not compulsory recommended. You can go with this. Continue. Then that hard disk name it will give here. Okay. And continue. Again, asking for confirmation that no doubt you select that one partition, but inside there also there are some important directory like we have /home, which is mostly storing user, variable, temporary file. You want this partition. Again, you can see recommended for new user what all files in one partition. So continue. And now you're asking the last confirmation for partition that finish the partition. It will create these kind of things. Just continue. Write the changes. Yes. Continue. Now it will create the partition and installation process is started. Generally, it will take 30 to 40 minutes. Okay. But totally depend on the hardware configuration. Like I told you, with 2 GB RAM or 512 MB RAM or 8 GB RAM, three concept I told you, while I give 16 GB RAM. In that also what disk size, there is a hard disk or SSD create a difference. Okay. So till it is doing process, let me explain the other step, which is help you to create physical instance. Right now I'm doing in virtual machine. So you can see, if you want to do physical installation, then what? Then pre-requirement is what? You require the AMD 64 installer image, which again, I already download the same image. But at this time, we are not going to use in virtual machine. So VirtualBox kind of software or VMware we not require, but we need to use this image in the different machine where I want to install physically. So I require some bootable device. Older scenario, again, you can use CD DVD still. Okay. Otherwise, new scenario, people are creating USB bootable device. You can say USB pen drive, bootable pen drive kind of stuff. So that you require is a pen drive. And then what? This image you need to burn, okay, on the pen drive. Okay. And you require one hard disk to install it. Okay. Other recommendation what? If that system again connected to network with DHCP, DNS kind of enable things, which is outbound internet access. Then what? Then you can download these images. You can burn the image like that. And keep in mind some info from Kali.org itself that we will be wiping existing data on the hard disk, this point, hard disk. Okay. So please backup any imported information on the device to the external media. Okay. Install process is reach here. Very good. So let's understand the last step. How you install the physically. Download that installer image, burn that Kali ISO, DVD, or you can use USB pen drive, backup that imported data, whatever the information you have. Okay. Ensure that your computer is set to boot from CD, DVD, or BIOS. That step I also show you in the VM setting where I remove the floppy and I make the hard disk as a first priority, second priority CD DVD. Okay. If your hard disk is empty, even the second priority of CD DVD will work because first time it will fail to boot from hard disk and then it will boot from CD DVD. And then keep in mind the new Kali is require UEFI setup. If you have little bit idea about BIOS and UEFI, then in the BIOS we have old hardware concept that is known as a legacy and latest known as a UEFI. And if it is UEFI nowadays, then what? There are again another option like secure boot enable or disable. So keep in mind if you're using Windows 10 or 11 or other that kind of latest OS, then all by default UEFI is enable. Okay. If you're using old, still let's say Windows 8 or 8.1 or let's say 7 by rare chess. Okay. Then you need to enable the UEFI. In that also keep in mind whatever the OS you are using officially, okay, with the license version or let's say Linux, other Linux, Ubuntu, CentOS, Red Hat or Windows, that is secure boot enable will support. But this Kali is already created for hacking practice and cybersecurity, pen testing kind of concept. So there are lots of other tools which is not look like a regular software. And that's why if there is a UEFI setting, make sure that secure boot is disabled. And then what you need to do, attach that bootable pen drive to the system, start the system, and the same installation step you will find which we done here. And you can see during that discussion, our installation is done. You can see desktop environment selecting. Now here what? There are different environment you can choose by default selecting that collection of tools. You can see again selecting you will no effect. You can also install this later. Right now you can keep top 10 tools. That is your choice. You can keep default environment. You can choose. This is actually what? Your graphical environment. What kind of graphical environment you want? Okay, so this is by default. If you want to change, if you are like, let's say I want Reddit kind of Linux environment, then you can go with Genome and KDE Plasma. Otherwise, for proper Kali, you can see this is a Kali default desktop environment. You can keep this selected and just continue. Okay, now you can see it is again showing some time. Here again, whatever time showing, guys, that is totally different according your hardware configuration. Okay, maybe you not find that this number is increasing this faster. So few seconds is there, so I will keep continue video. Otherwise, what I will stop the recording and I can start again. But let it be continue. This few seconds you need to wait. More than half already done. You can see 2000 done. Only few seconds and all mostly done. So first what it will analyze the whole packages and now it is unpacking. Normally, let's say if you have idea, like we downloaded some 3.8 GB Kali size, image size. So that is just what? Compressed image file for installation. Once we are doing this process installation, it will extract all that packet. Okay. Okay, guys, you can see there are lots of process done and now it's finished. So now it's installing Grub bootloader. What is Grub bootloader? Let's say if after installing and doing practice, if let's say there are some problem in booting, not right now. Right now we are installing fresh, but let's say you are practicing lots of different stuff, and then later you let's say experimenting the tools. Some tools are changes by mistakenly in the booting files. Then this Grub bootloader will help you to troubleshoot booting related problems. So yes, this will we need to keep yes. And inside that again, generally it is suggested that you can use different device like a pen drive or external hard disk. But if it is a physical machine backup, right now it's in the VM only. So I will select this and continue. So it's updating the grub and you can see now finish the installation. In the last, it will ask for the restart. This is what VirtualBox guest. Now understand we are installing the virtual machine. So there are lots of different virtual machine platform also have their own compatibility tools, which will help to adjust the graphics and everything. So that is now installing. So we are in the last step, okay? And this will ask for the reboot or restart, you can say. And once we restart, our installation of latest Kali 2024.1 will be done. Configuring, running update. Don't worry, it will not take more time, okay? It is just a grub bootloader, as I told you, for troubleshooting booting problem. So it will just adding in the hard disk installation with the booting related location. It will take only few seconds more. So you can see here, done. And as I told you, it will ask for the reboot. Please choose continue to reboot. So button name is continue, but once I click on the continue, it will reboot the Linux. So you can see here, our Kali is restarted. So be ready for the latest version of the Kali and see the logo and booting process. Something obviously you maybe look like a Kali 2023 because it's a 21 version difference. So graphically it will change. Now what is the ID password? If you remember what we created, that is ng and ng at the 123. Let's log in. And again, obviously, for the first time login process, it will take some time, which will adjust the graphic and everything. Okay, but later it will run smoothly. So it started here. So this is the look of your latest Kali Linux 2024.1. So I hope you are excited with the cyber journey. Okay, stay tuned to see this kind of latest update in video. And I'm also planning to make other cyber security video with the bug bounty in pen testing. So what topic you want from my side, kindly comment in the chat box. I am happy and ready to create that kind of video on demand. Thank you guys.